And welcome to the New Zealand under-19 men's versus the South African under-19 men's on day one here in Sheffield. We've got a minute to start before the start of this match here. This should be a good match-up between these two teams, two very fit and fast teams. I believe we have for the New Zealand side Sam Marshall and Heath Galloway sitting this one out. But the boys should be able to handle things without them. And we're off here in this game here. South Africa, nice strong start. Driving up to the right-hand side of the pool, laying back to, looks like a right-hand back. New Zealand trying to stop the drive and starting their own one, but South Africa regaining possession. New Zealand doing a nice drive up the left-hand side of the pool here. Looking to lay back and swim off the wall, doing a nice switch across the pool. New Zealand being very aggressive right at the start of this game. South Africa just managing to push the New Zealand side out to the wall, but I believe we have a ref call, and it is against the New Zealand side. So New Zealand and South Africa will reset and see if South Africa can break out of their own half. So South Africa opting to swim up and then lay back to their, looks like their fullback. But South Africa has a break here. But the New Zealand goalie looks like it's Samuel Twigg managing to nullify that attack. And now New Zealand breaks up the pool. Bit scrappy here, but New Zealand putting a lot of pressure on the goal bin, and has that gone in? And the referees are signalling a goal. So we have the first goal here in this match today going to South Africa. Oh, New Zealand, sorry. So that was another strong start here from New Zealand. Aidan Heath taking that strike. Laying it back to the boys. Now William Heaps coming off the wall on a nice 45 drive, but now the New Zealand side just nullifying the South African attack, looking to reset and go up the wall. But we have a call here, a barging against the New Zealand side. New Zealand and South Africa just getting some subs in and out before the play resumes. Oh, New Zealand taking advantage of South Africans' missed flick there, but South Africa has managed to regain possession and looking to drive back up their right-hand side of the pool. But again, we have another ref call, and that this time is against stick infringement against South Africa. Sam Twigg, the captain, taking this puck for New Zealand. Recycling the puck back to him was his wing, and getting that puck up to the forwards. New Zealand putting a lot of pressure on the South African side on the start of this match. New Zealand team just recycling the puck, trying to keep it in there within the black sticks. But South Africa doing some good defence in the start of this first half. Jackson Godfrey going for a nice switch across the pool and then cutting back on himself on a nice 45 drive towards the goal, and it looks like we have another goal here. And Jackson Godfrey did indeed score that himself, so a nice 45 drive and then a cut and going the other direction. And we have a timeout from South Africa, so that'll give the boys a minute just to regather themselves, get a few breaths under themselves, and we'll go again. So we're about to resume this game here after the South African timeout, and we'll have a strike. We'll see who can get to this puck first. Very fast strike from both teams, but New Zealand again, Aiden Heath managing to get out in front, but South Africa managed to nullify that drive. And we've got a call here from the referees. Referee just calling a barging call against the New Zealand side. So we'll see if South Africa can take advantage of this and start to move the puck up the pool. So South Africa opting to go across the pool this time, and the New Zealand side very quick to stop that drive from them. But South Africa still going on a drive, but we have another referee's call. This time against South Africa for a stick infringement. New Zealand going very lateral across the pool. We'll see if they look to bring it off again, and that's what they do. Got some players out wide, but New Zealand's still driving. New Zealand holding on to possession and keeping the drive going up the pool. Doing a lot of laybacks for their second and third phases coming through. But South Africa still doing some strong defence, keeping the New Zealand team out. Now South Africa on a bit of a drive here, going across the pool. The New Zealand side just managing to stop that and going back the other direction. Big flick in there from the New Zealand wing. And it looks like we're going up to the goal. Can South Africa keep this out, or is New Zealand going to put in a third goal for us today? And it believes the referees have called a goal. So that is the third goal today for the New Zealand side. And number 3, Nicholas from Wellington. So the South African side will have to come back very quickly to see if they can get one or two before the half time. Another strong strike from the New Zealand side. Nice little dummy there. But I believe number 9 from the New Zealand side, big drive up this left-hand side of the pool. New Zealand setting up with numbers on the bottom. And South Africa just trying to absorb that pressure. Nice little underbody pass to himself for another goal, I believe, for the New Zealand side. We'll see what the refs have to say, and the refs agree that we will have a goal. Number 11, Ben Cushman. Nice goal there, Ben. And again, we have a strong strike. New Zealand opting to go down the middle this time and just keeping possession there. Tim Bevilard doing a nice layback to Sam Twigg. Turn off for another nice lateral pass across the pool. For another New Zealander to swim the straight line. Tim again doing a big swim, got a lot of space, but we have a referee's call. Barging against New Zealand. So we'll see if South Africa can set up nice and quickly and take the advantage out of this. See what set plays they have in store for us. Again, opting to go across the pool. Try to spread this New Zealand side out, but New Zealand coming back and doing a nice 45 across the pool. Again, we have another referee's call against New Zealand for another barging call. So the New Zealand side will have to watch these barging calls, or else we might see someone in the bin soon. South Africa doing a nice flick through to their forward. A nice underbody pass to his teammate. Oh, New Zealand doing a very flat pass, but the South African very quick to shut that down. And a nice strong drive here from South Africa. We'll see what they can make of this. South Africa pushing the New Zealand side back into their own corner. Putting a lot of pressure, but New Zealand just nullifying that. And we've got a call again, and this time is again against New Zealand. A barging again. So we'll see this advantage is right on the goal. So we have a timeout called for New Zealand. And after this minute, we'll see if South Africa can take advantage of this puck right in front of or right off to the right-hand side of the New Zealand goal. And see if South Africa can get their first goal under their belt before the half. And it looks like we have a sin bin for number 9. So sorry, number 8, not number 9. Number 9 sitting on the side. He's having a rest today. So number 8, Vice Captain Will Heaps, just taking a little time in the sin bin. So 10 seconds of this timeout, and we should be able to see who or how long that will be sitting in the sin bin for. So with 5 men down, let's see if South Africa, the New Zealand team with 5 men down, let's see if South Africa can take advantage of this. Strong drive straight at the goal, getting pushed to the back wall. New Zealand managing to just push the South African side into the corner. Some very static play, but a lot of bodies on the ground. A lot of bodies coming up. New Zealand team just coming out a couple metres, laying back to see if they can get a second or third phase coming through. Real slow drive, just trying to slowly push their way up the pool, but playing nice and safe. Another strong drive here from one of the wings on the New Zealand side. And now we've got a break here from Jackson Godfrey, left-hander. South Africa doing a nice stick tackle just to take that puck off that New Zealander. But I think that's number 3 from New Zealand just coming through. Nicky again doing a strong swat up the left-hand side of the pool. New Zealand's got numbers down. We'll see if just absorb this pressure. Sam Twigg coming in here, coming off on a nice 45 drive. A lot of space out there for them. And again, we have a nice layback, but the New Zealander couldn't quite hold on to that puck. And South Africa just getting rid of that pressure. And we have a ref call against South Africa for a stick infringement. So the New Zealand side will look to try to get their 5th goal just before, with only 3 minutes left in this first half, just to assert their dominance on this game. Big flick in there from the goalie from the New Zealand side. Looked like it almost bounced off one of the New Zealand players. And we've got a ref call here, so we'll see what the ref has to say. Oh, we've got a barging call against New Zealand. And New Zealand is back to 6 now, so Will must only been sent out for a minute. So South Africa opting again to go very flat across the pool. Just locking it up on that wall in front of their sub bench. Try to roll some subs in, get some fresh legs in the pool, and see if they can do a drive. But New Zealand doing another strong drive towards the corner. And the ref making a call for, I believe, stick infringing. And we'll push South Africa back. South Africa has also just had a sim bin. Number 8. Mana's been sent out for a minute, so he'll come back in with 48 seconds left on the clock. New Zealand, another big flick into the centre. Danger zone for the South African side. Lovely little knockdown there by the South African player. Will Heaps putting a massive flick across the face of the goal there to his teammate, but South Africa doing a nice drive out of there, just relieving the pressure for them. But New Zealand has numbers down. And we have another ref call. And this time it is against New Zealand, again for barging. So Manus has 10 seconds left in this sin bin and will be jumping in probably just at the start of this play, just for the last 50 seconds of this first half. Nice little dummy there from the South African player with a big flick going up the wall. That South African player just trying to control the puck on its edge. And then New Zealand just do a nice little wide switch across the pool in front of their sub bench, but then decide to come back through Jackson. And he's got Aiden Heath on the outside of him. But a lot of numbers down for South Africa. Big hit there by Tim. And we have another ref call with 20 seconds left in this first half against New Zealand. For gloving for the New Zealand team. So there's not much time for the South African team to do much in this first half, but they'll just look to try to get some dominance and lock it down so that the New Zealand team can't put any more pressure on. And that is the end of the first half. So New Zealand leading 4-0. So the South African team will look to come back at this beginning of this first half and try to get an early goal on this New Zealand side. Cool, so 20 seconds left here of this halftime break before we resume the game. Strong strike here from both teams. Only New Zealand team only just getting in front of that puck before the South Africans did. Strong drive here from the New Zealand side to start the second half. South Africa will be looking just to nullify this attack and try to start to set up for their own. Ref call here, an illegal knockdown by the New Zealand side, so South Africa will just be able to have a couple of breaths and set up to start this advantage puck. See what they can do here. Opting to try to go straight down the middle, but the New Zealand putting a solid hit on that South African player, just stopping their drive. And now New Zealand setting up for their own drive. Puck popping back into the middle, sitting onto the New Zealand stick quite nicely, but South Africa just pushing them across the corner and getting that puck away from the front of the goal bin. New Zealand popping a nice little pass across, but the South African player managing just to slap that down and put that puck back in the corner. And we have a ref call here against the New Zealand side, number 7 for barging. So New Zealand will have to be careful with that call, just to try to clean up that offence. Again, the South African boys opting to go down the middle, and the New Zealand side very fast and strong to come at them and nullify that attack. Now the New Zealand goalie just passing a puck nice laterally across the pool. A lot of numbers on the bottom for New Zealand side. South Africa doing a nice tackle though and turning out of that with numbers on the bottom, with a big pass coming through, and we've got a couple South African players, but the New Zealand player just managing to get over top, and the South African player has managed to regather, but he's looking for his support. There's a lot of black sticks down there. South Africa now doing a strong drive up the middle of the pool. New Zealand just shutting that down right in front of their own sub-bench. Will get some fresh legs in, and New Zealand look to drive that puck back up into the South African half. And here we go, we've got Aiden Heath doing a nice drive up the centre of the pool. South African player turning that off, but the New Zealand player on the other side doing a nice hit and into the goal. I believe we have a goal here. Referees signalling for a goal. And number 2 again, Jackson Godfrey having a nice game here against South Africa. And it looks like the referee is signalling that the South African player, number 10, I believe, is getting sent out for 2 minutes. Liam, the captain. So New Zealand will try to capitalise on this, but South Africa just need to nullify the attack, absorb the pressure, and just, it's 1 minute, sorry, and just keep that puck out of their own goal bin for a minute until they can get their captain back in. Strong drive here from the South African player. Up the wall. Still going. But numbers on the bottom from the from New Zealand team. A lot of black sticks down there. And New Zealand just locking that puck up again in front of their own sub-bench to get some nice fresh legs in. Opting to do a 45 drive. Will Heaps just not managing to get any movement off that wall, but subbing out and getting some fresh legs in. Jackson Godfrey doing another nice swim up there, and he's got support from his New Zealand forward. And South Africa just trying to slow that puck down. And South Africa should be back to 6 men again. Oh, it's 2 minutes? No, so South Africa is still to 5, but the referees are signalling that it wasn't. Oh, we've got missed messages here. 2 referees calling different signals. But it is an advantage for New Zealand against South Africa. And the New Zealand team just thinking it was against them, so now they'll push up and set up for this advantage puck. Quite close to the South African goal bin, with South Africa down to 5. New Zealand will be opting to try to get this puck across the pool, spread the South African team out, and trying to find a gap to put this puck through the goal. South Africa doing a good job of just softening this pressure and just opting it out, but we have a ref call. And I believe the ref has called a corner rule against the South African side for holding the puck on too many phases in the corner. But we have a team timeout from South Africa, so they'll just look to get some breaths, get a drink into them, and then try to hold out while their captain is still sitting in the sin bin. So both coaches talking quite furious to quite loud to their players in their team, just trying to get them some plays and tell them what to do before this advantage puck gets set up. A lot of chat going on, and a lot in the sub benches from both sides. And we have New Zealand swimming right across the front of the South African goal bin for a layback for their New Zealand player to come through the middle, back onto the back wall again. But we have a ref call. One ref is signalling goal, but another ref is calling a gloving against New Zealand and has given New Zealand a team warning. So New Zealand will be needing to watch that infringement, because they don't want to spend any time in the sin bin. So South Africa is now back to 6 players, so back to 6 on 6. And South Africa will look to try to get a drive going on up this pool. New Zealand doing a nice tackle, just losing the puck there, but lucky he had his goalie sitting behind him. And now number 7, Zach Howe, just coming up through the middle and recycling that puck to the New Zealand side. A lot of pressure here on the South African goal, and it looks like the puck has popped into the South African goal. We've got a ref call. The ref signalling for a goal here. And number 5, Aidan Heath, doing a lot of swimming and finally getting some rewards and putting a goal in there for him. So goal number 6 for the New Zealand team with 8 minutes left in the second half. Starting to really put some dominance on the South African side. Nice flat strike there from the New Zealand side. Number 11 just opting to try to push the puck laterally under his body. South Africa just stopping that pass quite quickly. Now South Africa going for a 45 drive, but cutting back and just giving it straight to a New Zealand player. Now a nice little flat pass to the New Zealand side, but the South Africa doing well there just to get a stick in the way. And now South Africa trying to hold in possession and just nullify the New Zealand attack. A ref call again from surface, and we have, believe, against New Zealand for barging. But we haven't seen a team warning yet from the referees. No, number 12 has been sent out for that barge, Thomas. So he'll spend a minute in the bin. We'll see if South Africa can take advantage of New Zealand being down to 5. Some underbody checks there from Sam Twigg, just managing to regain possession. Need to keep his head up though, but the puck recycles back to the New Zealand side. South Africa just pushing that across to the wall. And now the South African team looking to come off the wall. A small flick there, not right, making it to his teammate, and New Zealand really putting them under some pressure now from that missed flick. But South African player doing a nice drive through the middle, and he's got two players with him. And the South African player is still going, he's still got numbers on the bottom, just needs to recycle that puck to his teammates, try to finish this drive. South Africa now putting a lot of pressure on the New Zealand goalman with numbers down. We'll see if South Africa can put their first goal in. And Thomas should be coming back into the water now. South Africa just need to try to take advantage of this territory that they've got and try to hold possession and do a nice drive across to the goalman. But we have a referee's call. And it is a stick infringement against South Africa. So New Zealand just managed to absorb that pressure with 5 men. Now they're back to 6, and so they'll look to set up for a drive and try to get up into the South African half. New Zealand side just opting to lay that puck back. Got it to his player, but South Africa just managed to get possession. And New Zealand, cheeky forward, just managed to get on the other side of that South African player, doing a strong swim up the pool. A lot of space in front of him. But that South African defender managed to do a very nice little stick tackle and get that puck off him. Now South Africa just sitting there, slowing the game down, waiting for his teammates to be on the bottom. But New Zealand now driving at the goal with numbers. We'll see if they can put in their 7th goal for the game. A lot of pressure on the South African goal, and South Africa doing well to keep the puck out, but it looks like it has managed to slip in. And yes, the referees are signalling for a goal. So that is goal number 7 for the New Zealand side, with 4 minutes 20 left in this second half. And Tim Babala from Auckland plays for Howard College. A very tight strike here from both teams. New Zealand managed to get it, but South Africa putting New Zealand under a lot of pressure in the centre of the pool. New Zealand just holding on to that puck. Number 11 doing a nice dummy, but missing the puck as he comes underneath himself. Sam Twigg just nullifying that attack, but dropping the shoulder. But we do have a barging call here against South Africa. So New Zealand doing well there on that, off that strike, and we'll see if they can set up for a nice forward drive. Number 11 for New Zealand taking that puck, Ben, and going quite laterally across the pool, but New Zealand coming back on a nice 45 drive. A lot of black togs on the bottom here. Puck still going forward for the New Zealand side, right onto the goal bin of the South African team, but we have a call, I believe, before it went in the goal, and we have a barging call against New Zealand. Have a team timeout. New Zealand calling that one, so Warwick just wanting to have a word with his boys and see if they can again put some pressure onto the South African side. So we'll go back underwater here. South Africa having an advantage puck. But New Zealand very quick to shut it down, push it across the wall, right in front of the South African sub-bench. Very flat pass with a very aggressive South African offside back coming up and doing a nice turn and swimming off. But New Zealand has numbers down. South Africa has a player there, but just couldn't quite get the puck to him. New Zealand, nice 45 flick. South Africa just doing a nice flick down the middle to his forward and then dropping that puck back to his winger with a very strong drive from South Africa, but New Zealand just managing to push that puck out to the side, slowing their drive down, trying to get some numbers on the bottom. And that New Zealand player just flicking it straight to the South African stick, but the South African player doing the same thing. And Will Heaps going on a 45 drive across the pool. And we're doing a lot of passing to the opposition at the moment from both sides. But New Zealand got a drive up the left-hand side of the pool and then spikes off on the 45. Now New Zealand putting a lot of pressure underneath the South African sub-bench, coming across in front of the goal. Looks like the puck has popped in. We'll see what the refs have to say. And they're signaling for a goal. So it'll be goal number 8 by number 3, Nicholas. So we'll have time for one more strike here with 50 seconds left in this second half. New Zealand having some real dominance in this game. But we'll see what both sides can do in this last 40 seconds. South Africa managing to win that strike, but New Zealand putting a big hit on that South African player and now driving up the pool. But South Africa going sideways with the puck. New Zealand doing a nice turn tackle and just laying that puck back for their backs to come through. 20 seconds left. We'll see if New Zealand can keep going, but no, South Africa coming back through the middle. Just looking up for his teammate and doing a nice pass into the middle of the pool, but the New Zealand number 2 looks like his mask just popped off. Everyone's hit the surface, but we've still got 5 seconds left in this match. South Africa just holding the possession and finishing out this game. Well done to both teams. New Zealand asserting their dominance on this game with an 8-0 win. But South Africa definitely putting some pressure on New Zealand at times and having some good skills in there. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next game.